All right. Hey, what's up, Michael?
Not much.
You're you're
How
you're
you
you're
doing?
from the land down under. Am I
Yep,
right?
yep. In Australia right now.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah,
Um, I'm really curious about your backstory,
yeah,
even how you ended up in Australia, and then obviously taking it towards the e-commerce Amazon world. So tell us a
yeah,
little bit about yourself.
yeah. So I kind of got into the whole process about 4 years ago now, I'd say. And really just always knew I wanted to do something for myself in terms of creating my own business, the cliche, not working a 9 to 5. So I was pretty big into music production my whole life. And that's what I was going to school for after um, I graduated from high school. And then within 2 months, kind of lost my passion for it. Still don't really know why, but just wasn't enjoying it as much. Seemed to be like a job as opposed to a passion. Uh, and I dropped out. Still knew I wanted to kind of do something for myself in terms of creating my own business. And I think it was just like a simple, like, how to make money online kind of search on Google, and went down that rabbit hole of drop shipping, Amazon FBA, digital marketing agency, right? Like all those different kind of business models. Ultimately chose to get into Amazon FBA. And as I was selling, well, my first time selling, I lost about 6-7 grand. Second time, a little bit better, probably broke even. Third time, started to see some traction with, and how the third time came about is I was a freelancer on Fiverr actually, and I got approached by a couple of guys from California to help set up a product with them from scratch. And that was kind of the third launch I had. And as that was going, I was starting to get a little bit more traction with my gig on Fiverr. Ultimately got shut off of Fiverr because I was doing calls outside. And so I went from being a little bit more established to back to zero. And I was like, damn. So I decided to just start the agency, which is EGM Media today, which was actually meant to be a digital marketing agency. This just started to take off. And so I was stuck with that name, and kind of full service agency, anything related to Amazon FBA. And now our main focus is mentoring kind of aspiring entrepreneurs to help them build their own Amazon business. And then on the back end, we work with some investors and building their brands with them from scratch and kind of partnering with them in the long term.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of people in this circle have a very similar story, and for good reason. The internet has provided, amassed so much information. Anyone could go on, learn it, and then do it. And it's doing it by failing and then iterating, failing, iterating. So
Yeah.
really like that. Um, what would you say is the mission of EGM right now? What's kind of the purpose of the company outside of making money? What's the
Yeah.
core
Yeah.
mission?
So I think, kind of like I said, it's really helping aspiring entrepreneurs to help them build up their own Amazon FBA business from scratch, and just like understanding how to do that from a basic level. I didn't want to get into a position where we were focused on like bigger brands, and a little bit easier to deal with them sometimes, I think, because they have the capital and stuff. But I can relate because I was in that situation. And so it's more fun to me to see someone starting from scratch. So that's kind of just the mission, is just like helping people from square one to build a sustainable business on Amazon.
And how have you guys done that so far? When did you guys incorporate and start, like, official?
It was 2 years ago, I believe, in May. But in the beginning, it was really just like I had mentored like hundreds of people individually. And then for the first year, it was more of a focus of like building brands with investors. And just this year now has been more of the focus of like putting out this program of like mentoring people. So I've been like bringing on more of a network of mentors who, currently sell on Amazon or have been successful on Amazon, like have actually been a part of and done well, who we will set up one-on-one with an individual and go through the process with them. So like this specific program in terms of mentoring has been like just really set up this year. I've done it in the past myself individually, but now I'm just a little bit more of a structure. So just bringing in more and more mentors to help out, students as we continue to kind of grow it.
Nice. I like that. Definitely think the one-on-one hand-holding structure is needed.
Yeah.
And people who say there's an expert in this field that can help you, or I don't buy that as much nowadays. The only
Yeah.
reason I say that is because what worked 3 months ago doesn't work now. And
Yeah.
sure, you can stack the skills, and we understand for how long have we've done it, what works, what doesn't, how algorithms work, and so on. But anyone can pop off within 3 months,
Yeah.
6 if
Yeah.
they apply themselves to what's working today.
Yeah.
What have you guys seen that with students that start off or clients that start off? Is it more like, are they signing up and wanting services just for someone to do it for them, or are they so engaged that okay, they're going to take this advice, listen, but ultimately it's creating it themselves and doing it?
Yeah, so a bit of both. Like now it's mainly people who are coming in who are wanting us to kind of show them, and it's less hands-on on our part. It's just like pretty much 95% hands-on for them. Like for one of them, we'll do like their listing for them, or like for like our top one, we'll like launch the product for them when they get to Amazon. But we're teaching all of that stuff to them. So the idea is that they will have the knowledge how to do this on their own. Versus, what you mentioned, people coming to us and wanting us to do like these services for them. We have something set specifically where we set up everything from scratch. But now it's, like I said, more like the mentoring focus. So it's more of like a done with you. And a lot of those people do go on if they want us to start managing their PPC when they get on Amazon or their overall account, or do some one-time services. Like we still do that. But it's mainly I want to like get these people understanding how to build a successful Amazon business. Because like you said, like even it's just you can't do the basics anymore on Amazon, right? Like you have to get everything right specific to Amazon, and then know and understand how to do more to kind of help your success.
Yeah, that's spot on. All right, switching gears here, and kind of again going back to when you started. What freedom, luxury, again outside of the income monetary, has internet marketing, e-commerce provided you, and then what you've seen with investors, clients?
Yeah, it's just this, I would say, like my current situation, like just being in Australia. I'm from, I lived in Vancouver my whole life, and like just being able to go wherever, whenever I want, and not really be worried about it, is what I'd always wanted. And that's kind of the luxury that I have now. And that's the same thing that like we want to try to make possible for other people. So it's like kind of what I'm doing right now, just like traveling and just exploring the world more, and not having to, be at home my whole life.
Okay, so here's a question for you. If you can make $1 million a year and be at an office for 40 hours, or do 100,000 and travel all around, which one are you
it's always going to be like the lesser amount of money and being able to travel. Like I've thought about this question so many times. Like there's no, and like I genuinely know this to be true, there is no amount of money, like billions, whatever, if I have to be in the same spot like my whole life, and I can only do the trip, like whatever, take 2 weeks off, but I'm making the most money ever, like I would rather not. Like I'd rather make a lot less and being able to travel and have the freedom to do whatever whenever I kind of can.
Yeah. I always ask that question sometimes, but when I hear it, I always say if that person is offering it, because it's always hypothetical. But
What would you say?
I would say, are you offering? If someone's offering 100,000, then it's realistic. But I think I'm in line with you. Even though again, that's two choices. We know that if we apply ourselves to the tactics, strategies, our creativity of brand, advertising, we can make more than $1 million. I'm posing that question as a hypothetical, but I'm for sure in line with you. I can't do the 9 to 5 and just be limited. I feel like there's so more in life in general, and then e-commerce in our craft and what we're doing. So I'm definitely in line.
100%.
Was there, you mentioned the music production, was there anything else that kind of you're beginning to like, was there something that pivoted you into business before e-commerce?
I would say it was just having, I don't really know how I got to that place of like where I was like so determined to want to do something like this, but like how it kind of, I think how it started was the person who I'd been working with, like it originally started like I was like guitar lessons, whatever. But the guy who I was working with, like he'd been my teacher for that. And then we got into music production for like I said, like 6-7 years. And he was so like, he does what he loves, doesn't like, he didn't make very much money at the time, but he was always just like so pumped on what he was doing. And it was cool to see, because I was very passionate about the music production at the time. And it wasn't for me like, I want to do this until like I can start making a lot of money. It was more just like, I love doing this, so I'm just like going to keep doing it. And so I think I kind of got that mindset from him. And he always like said a few things to me of like, you know, if you really love it, just like do it. Like why not? Because money, it's like, if you love it, you're gonna like it better anyways, probably. And so like he's always been like that. And he's probably like my biggest inspiration as to how I kind of got to where I am today, and like having that mindset. So that was the pivot. So I think it was at like a pretty young age when I started like getting lessons from him, just seeing how he thought about life and doing what he loved, and literally not caring about the money was cool. Yeah.
Do you still play instruments?
No, I don't have any here right now, but I don't know. I think I sold them all. I had maybe one guitar back at home, and I've always talked about that. Like I'd like to maybe get back into like producing stuff. I just haven't got a setup again, but yeah.
Interesting. But
Yeah.
would you say the passion and the love for music itself is still with you? Like outside of business?
For sure.
Still like
Definitely. I think it is. I think what probably happened is when I went to school for it, because I'd been doing it freely on my own with him for so long. It was like when I got into a structured situation, I was like, now it feels like it's like a job, and it's like I'm trying to like learn it. It was like weird. And so I think that turned me off, as opposed to me just like continuously doing it on my own with him. I think that's what turned me off. But I definitely, it's still, passion is still there for sure.
Yeah. Do you remember the first product you sold on Amazon?
Yeah, it was a money gun.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I was looking at the data and stuff. It all looks pretty good to me. Had my, branding all done, package design, all that stuff. I think it was called, I think it came like Cash King or something. That's what I had as the brand name. And I didn't list the product on Amazon ahead of buying inventory, because I was still learning. And so I had purchased the inventory, went to list on Amazon, and it didn't get approved. And I was like, it's weird. There's tons of other people selling this. Like, why can't I sell it? And so it just ended up being as restricted because of the fake cash. And so, I opened a ton of cases with them, talked to them, like, as I'm sure they're pretty difficult to work with in terms of like their seller support. And I'm sure today, maybe I could have thought of like, I probably could have got rid of the cash, but that was like a big part of the bundle. Like it wouldn't have made sense to sell without. So I just couldn't get it relisted, even though there was lots of other people selling it, but I'm sure they're up because they're a little bit more established. So they're a little easier on them. It was like my first time ever selling something, brand new seller account. And so I like begged my supplier to get like some sort of refund, because I was like, I know this product is doing pretty well on Amazon. There's not a lot of competition. Like you're going to have people wanting to reorder, can you give me some sort of refund? And not that I expected it, but I was just like trying to see if she would. And so after like a week of kind of, discussing with my supplier, they ended up, it was either a 15% refund or like a 30% refund, but they gave me some money back, which I was like, that's lucky enough to get anything back.
Yeah, I've gone through that.
Yeah.
Not having to cancel, but of course, products not working. In
Yeah.
that time, today, what would you say is the 3 to 5 things, maybe more, that every Amazon seller has to have in order to have a successful product on Amazon or a successful brand? What's kind of the, I guess, summary of what you've done, summary of how you help the client, summary of what you're seeing with your research?
So I look at a bit like kind of two different ways now. So I'll talk about like both. Number one is kind of the traditional route of, understanding what criteria you want to look for within, like we use Helium 10, and kind of understanding what criteria to look for in a product, and following that, of course, you can adjust that, but like the basics of, we want to make sure like the product on average, like no less than kind of 6 to 8 or 8 to 10,000 average revenue per month, ideally less than like 500 average reviews. And like, after checking off the criteria and everything, we want to make sure that, okay, can we truly improve upon this product? Like, can we actually differentiate this, as opposed to like selling a Me Too product and then adding something on for the sake of adding something on. I think a lot of people do that, and it's like, are you truly providing more value? Like, is this going to be a big enough reason for them to purchase yours over your competitors? So that's kind of what we look at, is just knowing the criteria that we want to kind of stick with. And then in terms of, you know, the demand, competition, not seasonal, and really thinking about what we can do to make it better. I think oftentimes you can come across a lot of products like that, and it's not super hard to find a product like that. But those products sometimes don't take off. It's like either way, it's a very long-term game, like any business. But there's the other route, which is, and some people are very against this and some people are like very for this, but taking a bit more of a risk and selling something like pretty unique, in terms of like, there's not a lot of other sellers doing this on Amazon. Maybe there's no sellers on Amazon. And like, that's always been the risk of people telling you, like, don't sell something that, you know, people aren't selling because there's no proven data behind it. And fair enough, right? But if you have the capital and you can order some inventory and maybe try and test it out, maybe it doesn't work, but if it does, it can work a lot better than like the traditional route of how most people kind of choose products. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the traditional route, because it's more safe and like you can be consistent long term with it, like you have to be anyways. But for example, we just had someone who we're working with who there was maybe 2 sellers selling this product. And, you know, I was like, it's a little bit more risky. You know, there's not as much data behind it. The 2 people who are selling it are doing like $80,000 to $100,000 a month. So they're obviously dominating it. But, you know, he thought about a way to truly improve upon the product. He has done 0 PPC. He has, I think now he's like maybe 5 to 7 reviews. He's averaging over 30 units a day, like sign over 30 units a day. No PPC, nothing, like past 30 days, like over 30, 40,000 a month in sales, of course. But his, you know, margins are obviously not too bad, right? He's not doing any PPC or any sort of marketing. So that was a really cool example of like something that's more unique. There's less people selling it. And, you know, he took the risk and put the investment in to really make this product better. And it happened to like take off with doing no PPC. So like, there's a kind of like those 2 routes of like traditional way of, you know, going after that. I think there's a pretty like common criteria that people look for and making that product better, or like something that's not really on Amazon, but taking that risk of where it could really take off because you don't really have too much competition.
Okay, interesting. I mean, maybe offline, I would love to pick your brain on that no PPC strategy, because, man, I mean,
not that I'm also not that I'm saying like he shouldn't do PPC. Like, we will be doing PPC soon for him. But it's just like cool to see, like he just listed on Amazon, like we just hadn't started yet, and it's just taking off. It's just cool to see, but definitely always doing PPC.
That's interesting. So just to recap for you guys listening in, criteria. So using software to narrow down the product research phase, to improving the product, not just marginally adding something, but actually digging deep and improving the product. Of course, thinking long-term about the business. It's not going to be no launches. You do it for a month, 2 months, and it stops. It's repetitive, it's constant, it's following up, acquiring customers, reacquiring, targeting. I'm sure you guys do go deep into that, but I like those bullet points. If there are more, I hope people can reach out to you and, you know, kind of give them more of those tidbit nuggets. What's your guys' goal for the next 12 months at EJM? Like, what's kind of the rocks that you guys are setting as a company to hit your milestones for this year?
It's expanding and continuously just growing on our mentoring program. I've recently just added we're going to be doing like a membership kind of program. It's like, gonna be like 40 kind of 45, 47 bucks a month, where it's gonna be more of a community, and they have like, full access to like a course. I didn't want to just like sell, a course for classic, like $997 or, $2,000. So I want to be growing that side of things, like a much affordable way of people learning and building upon that community. That is the goal, is just like continuously building that up. Yeah, and getting more people into it, and just at an affordable rate, as opposed to selling something for over $1,000. Not, we do have like more mentoring, like one-on-one specific stuff that hit in that range, but it was important to make sure like there's something for everyone, like literally for people who don't have, $500 or, even less, they can get started somehow or get that knowledge somehow.
Sure. This might be a bad example, but to hit a point of community home, but Andrew Tate is blowing up all over social media, even though now he's collapsed. But
yeah.
The Discord programs or Discord communities are huge, and I think the internet is going in that direction naturally, organically. Where I'm in several communities myself, masterminds, where we're putting out ideas, we're putting out what's working, what's not working, and instead of one mind thinking about something, you put it out, and now it's 300, 400 people talking about something. It does get tricky. People need to share and interact, and there might be someone that's leaking the content or whatever. There's obviously process through it, but I do like that idea. If you start that habit, I would love to check it out, because there's no shortage of good communities. I want to be a part of them.
Definitely.
So cool, man. Well, I think you have a really cool story. I wish we can go a little bit longer. We both have calls and busy schedules. Maybe we can do follow-ups later on. But how can people connect with you if they have further questions? Where can they find you and kind of you up as you're frozen? Or maybe it's my internet, I'm not sure. Oh, the perks of Zoom. Well, if we did lose you, Michael, I think you guys could find him on the website. I don't know. Actually, you're on Instagram as well. As he leaves the meeting, Michael has a call at 4:30, which is almost 4:30 here. But you guys could connect at ejmmedia.com. I will leave his Instagram in the bio as well if you have questions for him. And yeah, if you found any value in this video, would definitely appreciate if you hit that like button, subscribe if you want notifications. Also join our free Discord group. I'm going to be posting all the content that I have around Amazon, around e-commerce, social media, internet marketing, growth hacks, and so much more. So I want to share and give back to the community. It's a free group, free Discord group. But just want to meet some of you people. You guys might be in different industries. Some things are working for you there. I want to hear it, and I guarantee I will give back value as well. And I'm inviting a few juggernauts in there who have been in the business for a really long time, and they're going to provide the value as well. So I hope to see you in Discord, and I hope to see you in the next YouTube video. Until then, take care.